In this video, we're going to talk about how to use hierarchical organization to avoid having to build redundant structures into your project. In Experiment Builder, you don't need to use a separate set of nodes for each distinct trial in your experiment. Instead, you can implement hierarchical organization through sequences. Sequences are special action nodes that allow you to implement looping designs in Experiment Builder. You can place nodes inside of sequences. Doing so allows for the basic structure that you build inside the sequence to be repeated. In other words, sequences allow you to repeat experimental events like basic block and trial structures. In this experiment, we want to do 3 blocks of trials, so we set the outer block sequences iteration count to 3. We also want to set things up so that the block instructions are presented to the participant after the practice trials and in between the experimental blocks. So we put a display screen action and keyboard trigger inside the block sequence. The first block has 2 trials and each of the experimental blocks has 4 trials. So we can put 2, 4, 4 in the split by property of the trial sequence. This makes it so that on the first iteration of the outer block sequence, the trial sequence iterates 2 times. Then, on each of the next 2 iterations of the block sequence, the trial sequence iterates 4 times. This allows us to present only a certain number of trials on each of the iterations of the block sequence. Importantly, all sequences have the potential to use data sources, which are spreadsheets that contain information to be used on each iteration of that sequence. Typically, you build experiments so that the trial sequence has a data source containing the information to be used on each trial. To get to a sequence's data source, you just click on its data source property. That will bring up the data source editor. Each row represents a different trial in the experiment, and the columns represent information that is to be manipulated from trial to trial. In this particular project, we have several columns. Identifier is just a unique identifying value that is given to each trial. Image file specifies the particular image file to be used on the trial. Practice status distinguishes practice from experimental trials. Correct response indicates the key that the participant should press on each trial when giving a correct response. Block indicates the block of the trial and is used to set up the randomization scheme for the experiment. List indicates the list associated with each of the trials and is used to counterbalance the design. Each participant will only be given the trials associated with one list value. This value will be chosen at the beginning of the experimental session because of the randomization settings that we use in the project. For more information on how the practice, block, and list columns are used in the randomization scheme for this project, please see the video on trial randomization.